over the last year, I keep telling people the next 2 to 5 years is when you're going to start seeing major change, because there is that shift now. There is that traction. And you talk to people who have been around been in this space, been trying to get legislation for 15, 20 years. And they talk about how this was a fringe belief, how you were radical if you believed in equal and shared parenting. And now we see polling data that voters with 80 and 90% rates in state by state say that equal and shared parenting would be what's best.
Yeah. And I think that, we're going to have, some kickback, particularly in California. I think as that becomes more and more of a thing, there's going to be more and more pressure from the feminist lobby to push for the DVROs. I mean, I remember talking with a pretty big guy in the father's rights movement about this, and he was saying, yeah, we're definitely going to have a lot of kickback, but I think it's unfortunately necessary to get to the battle, to get to the real battle of 50-50.
Yeah. And when people ask what the problem is with going in directly, number one is these, whether it's women's groups or domestic violence groups, have been pushing and lobbying and are much larger and much more well-funded. And they've been doing it for 50, 60 years. And it's much harder. It's much easier for an elected official to vote in favor of the most restrictive and punitive domestic violence law than it is to step back and be nuanced about what are the actual consequences of this legislation.
It's very sympathetic. We have a very sympathetic community to women and children, and it's always been that way. And I don't know that that's going to change. That initial sympathy, because there is the mother bond, there is that Disney princess model of the way the world is supposed to work, where you on your white horse is supposed to come and save her from the big bad dragon. It's like, well, things are changing, but I don't know that the women and children first mentality is ever going to totally go away. And from a politician standpoint, that which is safest is always going to be their first line of attack. They're always going to say yes to that which is safest. And if it's, tough on crime and lock up all the child molesters and, protect all the women and what is it, like end all rape, I'm like, okay, I'm down with that. I'm just not sure you're going to be able to do it.
Yeah. Goes back to the nuance piece of it. Is a legislator going to take the time? And the minute they vote in favor or they start championing something, we've seen this throughout the country, where the opposition will start running ads about they don't care about the victims of domestic violence and they aren't out there to protect the children. And it can be at times in certain areas of the country, a toxic political pill to swallow.